That's just going to be what Hannibal says
Yeah.
from now on.
You see the twinkle in his eye.
Yeah.
Cool.
I feel that you're ready. I'd like you to meet my apprentice, John. You might be dying later today.
He probably would like put his arm around John and be like, "Not if I can help it."
Oh no.
Well, John, you know who to stick close to now.
Of all the people to get an anime sidekick, it had to be Hannibal.
Yeah, I did it. I can quit D&D now. This is enough.
Perfect.
Get out.
I like it. So, I move along, perhaps. So, the goal is, Hannibal, the plan here is to collect your 60 people, disguise all of them as someone or something.
Well, here's my plan.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna so
maybe you have all of the people with you now, including Jericho, I assume, right? Jericho and Sylney are.
I also, Farron, would you be interested? I'll just cut this short because I've taken way too much time in the beginning. Farron, you in or out?
I think I'm out on this particular mission.
Cool, yeah. So
I think Farron even said last time he's got to like lead his bear riders, right? Like.
Shit, yeah. So it's just me and Jericho are the only PCs on this. Okay. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disguise us as undead being sent to work at the Ulrich's castle or Ulrich's church, because I'd like to make us look like those undead. However, because you can't identify through seeming, it works like invisibility. You can't see other invisible people. I'm going to designate like the people that I specially recruited as leaders. And maybe not the bright-eyed apprentices, but just some more seasoned people I'll establish as leaders. And I'll give them a distinguishable mark on their back. Something that wouldn't look out of place on an undead, but is just unnatural enough to kind of draw attention to anybody that's really looking too closely.
Very precise scar.
Exactly. Like a great sword slash across the back. And I'll use seeming to cast to make it also all look like undead and things like that. So that way we'll be able to keep track of each other that way.
Yeah, that seems great. So is the plan to infiltrate as a group?
The plan, from what I can understand, like the reason why I'm doing seeming is so that we're able to get from here to here without any trouble.
Yeah, to get from like where you're at up to the area without anybody noticing who or what you are, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
We're going to go in from the back, and I'll ask your input on this, Jericho. Do you think that we should wait for the attack at the front to happen before we move in?
I think that's going to depend on what we find in there.
Do you think that we should move in first?
I think we should find out what it is that they're doing in there. I'm not sure how much time we have. If we have time to wait, then yes, that'll obviously be more effective. If we find that there's something that we need to interrupt, we're doing that.
All right, sounds good. So yeah, basically, seeming distinguishable mark on the what I would call leader NPCs and
Right.
Jericho.
Yeah. Yeah, named NPCs and Jericho.
Mm-hmm. So that way they're able to kind of, like I said, it's just so that, like how you can't see invisible people when you're invisible.
So that we know who's actually supposed to be followed.
Yeah.
We'll try to do a head count.
Yeah, seems wise. And I'll say that you can just get, I would say around 60 people. It's totally fine. Now, to be fair, just so you're aware, like 60 random undead showing up at the temple is obviously going to be.
That's why I wanted the leader, so that we could spread out and all.
Yeah, so you could like kind of come in sporadically. Yeah, and I think that'll be like there'll be some roles there. I think just to make sure that it's being directed properly and nothing is too conspicuous. But yeah, no, I think that is totally reasonable. Cool. So Morella and Farron and Aelin, you never answered though. Are you going to like? Because Cahill wants to go and lead this attack, obviously himself, because he's Cahill and that's what he does. So maybe we do see a scene of like they're preparing and Cahill like begins to put on his armor and stuff. He appears to be fully recovered from his injury, in which you had to expend that greater restoration. Do you have words with him, or try to dissuade him from this at all?
So I think that Aelin has been standing there patiently, right, this whole time while he's been ordering people around.
Yeah.
I think right as he's like putting on his armor, I think she kind of like gets his attention, stands in front of him, and she just says, "I can't help but notice that you've given everyone else a task except me." She kind of like puts her hand on her hip.
Yeah, and I think that he looks at you and he kind of probably looks a little bit abashed, and he says, I'm sorry, it's been so busy. I'll be honest, I thought that did not even notice that you were still here. I apologize." And he kind of like bows his head in deference. And he's like, it is a busy time, and I've been quite distracted. All of this going on, but we can find a task, certainly. There is much that someone of your discipline can do, I'm sure.
Aelin just kind of looks at him and she's like, "Well, I'm so glad that I was so easily forgotten."
Yeah, and I think he gets his head kind of falls a little bit, and his face kind of drops from that like kind of boyish smile that he usually wears. And Charlie says, "Sorry, I feel as though there is some cloud over me. I woke up and I was feeling tremendous. Whatever magics you worked were truly astounding. Throughout the day, I've felt drained. I think it is simply just my natural recovery kicking in."
"'Tis understandable. So, what is it that you'll have me do? I'll do whatever you ask."
"Well, if I had to ask one thing, I would want you at my side, of course. But I also would not want you in danger. Although, if we're speaking in such terms, you probably would keep us all out of danger should you be at my side, so perhaps that is the wisest course of action."
"Then it is settled. I will come with you."
"As well. How are you feeling?" He's kind of like doing this awkward, like, I know I kind of ignored you all day, and I'm sorry, so let me ask how you're doing, so because I feel bad about ignoring you, kind of.
Aelin, very straight-faced, just says, "I've been fine. You are clearly very busy. Continue, and I will see you in a little bit when we leave."
Yeah, so do you like take your leave at that point?
Yeah, I just turn and go.
I think that as you turn to go, he grabs your arm, not hard, but like just enough to like turn you back, and he says, "We should see each other before we depart. Would do us both some good." And he gives you a genuine smile at that point.
She nods and says, "If you wish it." And she kind of like removes her arm and walks away.
Yeah, and I think that he's left confused. I think like we see him trying to attempt to figure out what just hit him, but very quickly he's kind of like seeing Aelin leave, like somebody else takes that opportunity to come talk to him, and like he's doing a thing where like he's like nodding and listening to them, but also like watching Aelin leave at the same time, like clearly not listening at all to what they're actually saying to him, as he sits perhaps a bit confuddled as to what's occurring to him right now. So where do you go, Aelin, after that?
Well, I mean, hearing that she's basically going to be going with him, she wants to make sure that the hospital is all in order before she leaves, because that's really, her first priority.
Yeah, the cult.
Hospital is what I didn't misspeak. I meant hospital, not
Thank you, Will, for always being the one to laugh at my jokes. I appreciate that. I really
It's
do.
not a cult. It's a gathering of people who worship me like a god.
Correct. Yeah. No. That's a good differentiation there between the two things. I appreciate that, Jackson.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, as you leave, you probably get down the street a little ways, and then you hear like the kind of sound of like those wooden wheels on the flagstone as you see like the cart bearer like running to catch up with you. He knows better not to ask you whether or not you want to sit. So he just kind of like follows you, I think. And by this point, I assume you've given up on trying to stop him from doing that.
I think Aelin just simply says, "Good morning, Jeremy."
Good morning, Most Holy. Did you sleep well?
As well as one can sleep in these circumstances.
Yes, I know what you mean. Then he just continues like trundling along next to you with the little cart.
Aelin just continues to power walk forward.
Yeah, and so you make it over to the hospital where I would venture to guess, Farron, you're probably helping with some of your wounded unit at some point in the morning, right?
Yeah. I am also now a certainly at least helper in the hospital ward. So
Yeah. Somebody accidentally on purpose put you in charge for a little bit of time. I remember that. Yeah, so you probably like Aelin as you approach. Daniela's not there because she's off with Hannibal doing Hannibal things, which is frightening, obviously.
God help her.
But you probably
you mean
do.
Shalia?
Right, yeah, Shalia help her. No, all gods and goddesses, like all of the deities.
She needs all of them. She needs the whole pantheon. The whole pantheon can't help her now.
Even the
more
bat,
time
like
she spends with
even
Hannibal, the less connected she feels with
like,
Shalia.
even praying to Korn at this point would probably be better than whatever Hannibal has in store.
I mean, that's always a good option.
Yeah, blood for the blood god, man.
I mean, blood for the blood god could be a good blood drive slogan.
Yeah, see
at the hospital. Have you considered that one?
Blood from the blood drive.
Yeah, blood for the blood drive. Yeah.
I think the second you say that, you would be mobbed.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's undeniably catchy.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on this. Perhaps in a different part of the universe, that would be more acceptable. Demons have feelings too. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
You could save a demon today by donating blood.
Yeah, and also your soul. So you arrive, and Farron is probably like filling some sort of leadership role right now with his troops. I assume, Farron, like your sleeves are rolled up at this point, and you know you've probably got a wad of bandages in your hand or something such.
Still looking immaculate, but yes.
Oh yeah, no, you're kind of like that. You're like that workman pretty, right? Where like your hair's like pulled back and is kind of tied up and is a little bit messy, but it's also sexy. Like that's.
Yes, definitely.
You're welcome for that.
We good now, Jordan. We good.
Okay, good. Yeah. You basically like Flynn Rider at this moment, right? Where you look a little bit roguish, and a little bit perhaps not too clean, but you're still sexy.
Perfect.
So Aelin, you approach that area. Do you say anything to Farron as you pass?
Yeah, I think I would stop in. Say, Farron, I trust everything's gone well in my absence.
We've been keeping the shop running. Daniela has run off with Hannibal, which is worrying, but the hospital's running well.
God, I want to make a remark so badly, but I won't. Good, yes. Well, I will see to a few things. I will be headed out. What do your plans entail, Farron? Will you be staying here?
I'm in charge of the Bear Rider unit at the moment, so as soon as we head out, I'll be the one leading the charge, as it were.
Well, blessings be with you and your riders. I'll be off. Bye, Farron.
Bye, Most Holy One.
Bye.
She like had already turned her back and she like goes to walk away, but she stops dead in her tracks and then just keeps going.
I just burst out laughing behind her.
Yeah, appropriate, I think.
Mhm.
So we perhaps transition the scene to Farron. What have you been doing this whole time, Farron? Knowing that like you're going to be leading the Bear Riders into battle here.
Yeah. So between healing as many people as I can, at least, directing other people to get healed, as we all know, I'm hopeless at actually healing people.
You know, at least you admit it. It's the first. That's the first step.
We don't know until he tries.
Oh, I've tried. I have tried.
Have you though? Have you?
God damn it. I've been like getting acquainted with my bear riding unit.
Yeah.
Finding out who's the chain of command and
Yeah, and I
think-
think there's definitely been probably some turmoil there a little bit. Because remember, like, you were promoted under very strange circumstances, right? You were like outside of the hierarchy and then brought into it based on your exploits. And so there's probably like a lot of the Bear Riders are a very prideful bunch. And I think I was talking with Dalton about this. No, it was Hannibal. I was talking with Hannibal. I'm sorry. No, it was Dalton. Sorry. One of those two. Sometimes I confuse the two of you on Discord.
Well, one of them's real.
True. That's that's a good point. Sorry, I'm a little out of it tonight.
I hope that you feel bad about yourself, Don. You sometimes get mistaken for a fictional character.
Who? Okay, I pulled a Jackson there. I apologize. I'm gonna fix myself. I was either speaking with Jackson or Dalton about the fact that the Bear Riders, they're very prideful, almost to a fault, and I think that a lot of them probably like they're following the orders, but I think that throughout the time that you've been with them, like you'll give an order, and then you'll realize that like they did the thing, but then they went about it in a way that you didn't tell them to do, right? Like if you told them to move the supplies, like those people would like do it in a roundabout way, delegate some people, and probably like get other people to move the supplies. And I think you get the feeling that it's not necessarily because they think that they're doing it better. It's almost to like subvert your commands, but still follow them and do the thing that you wanted in the end.
Sure.
Kind of as an act of defiance, but also understanding that like, you have led them through a couple of successful skirmishes, and they do at least recognize that your orders have weight. And aren't completely useless.
Somewhat competent.
Right, yeah. You're at least competent enough to ride on the bear and fight. Which is more than can be said for a lot of people. Also, I think that what ties into that is Barbara. Is Barbara what we're calling her? I forgot.
Bernadette.
I'm sorry.
Bernadette. Yes.
I think that one thing that is kind of holding the symbolism of you being the leader is Bernadette's bond with you. I think that is more significant to them than anything you have actually done yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think that
I have approval from Bernadette, therefore.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of times you notice like if you're by yourself, and you start like telling people what to do, they kind of look at you with disdain. But like if you're like on Bernadette, or Bernadette is like with you, they listen kind of right away and don't really question anything, and you don't get that kind of the sound from them a whole lot.
So what you're saying is that, as usual, I hold no clout. It's the women near me that have all the authority.
At least you have a type.
Hey,
Bears?
I am now a furry, apparently.
Listen, Jericho, don't kink shame him. What's wrong with you?
There are layers to this, actually, that are not related to... Never mind.
Oh, that just made it even better.
But yeah, no, I mean, we gotta... Will, we have to be consistent, okay?
Of course.
When have I never not been consistent? Come on.
Let's just leave it at that. So yeah.
But I think that you're slowly like kind of earning their respect though as well. Like there's definitely doing all the things you've been doing post battle have certainly helped your cause a lot. But my question to you then is, what would you do to influence the situation at all?
Yeah, I think what I want to do is to at least put on the airs that I know what I'm doing and I can actually be a good leader, rather than try to merely curry up to them, more give the essence of.
Yeah, absolutely. So how would you like to go about doing that? Like, is this going to be, like, what form of leadership are you using here? Are you trying to be, like, you're trying to prove yourself? Are you trying to make smart decisions? Are you trying to, utilize your other resources in this struggle? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
What the hell? Will?
Will?
Will? Will, check.
Huh.
Okay, well, Will's dead, everyone. Anyone check the news, see if Great Britain has sunk into the ocean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the risk that you always play if you're part of the royal family, right?
You're not wrong. Also, that was terrible. You're a terrible person for thinking that. Well, it appears
But
Discord
not
may be
wrong.
having some... I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, I didn't say that.
Look, they've got a weird sense of humor over there.
You're absolutely right. I should not judge. So perhaps we will move along and find out later what is going on with Will, and hopefully he's not dead. Can anyone else hear me besides Jericho and or I should say Liam and Dalton?
I can hear you.
Okay, Megan is here. Okay, good. Okay, Jackson's gone. Okay, Will's gone. Okay, Discord. I see how this is gonna work.
Have you tried changing the server?
We've been split up. What does that even mean?
East has been having trouble as of late.
I don't even know what that means.
What? The East server?
Well, yeah. So I'm a nub, and I don't understand what you mean by that. How do I change the server?
When you go to your your server settings for Discord. Like you can click on the when you look on the very top and then go to server settings. There should be a button that says server region. You
It
just
says
change
east, so I change it to, let's say, south.
and then it should reconnect everyone. And then
save the changes.
Yep.
It won't save the changes.
It's not saving the changes.
No.
That's odd.
Yeah, literally. Literally won't let me change it.
Huh.
Okay.
Discord
Well,
status.
here's what we're gonna do. Why don't we take our break a little bit early, and let's see if we can work on Discord. This is the first mass problem we've had in a very long time, so let's go.
Okie doke.
Let's go ahead and take a break. Let's just make it extended. Let's go till the top of the hour, just to make sure we get everything squared away. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Everybody go on
Good
break.
luck.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.